If I tell you that I slept only 30 minutes last night, you will not believe me because this morning I woke up feeling so refreshed and alive. Do you care to know why? Okay, let me tell you. I got the job! Wow! I mean, I work now at GPP, Genesis Palm Produce. See, my joy is immeasurable. Do you know that it took me 2 good years to get my offer letter for this job? They said the delay was caused by a merger, but today will mark a new season, taking my family out of poverty and hunger. I wore my blue dress. I bought it 3 months ago just for this day. Just last week, I was in a biology lab teaching how to dissect a cockroach. And today, see me as I twirl in my dress. I am a production manager. I can't believe it. At that, the receptionist showed me my office. Imagine, I had an office with my name on the door. My office was so beautiful. My Apple laptop on the desk was opened, and on the screen, it had a message that said, "Welcome, Miss Ebitimi, to GPP." I smiled. I felt at home. As I was setting up my laptop and passwords, Ada called again, and then she said I was needed at the boardroom. First time meeting with the team. I was excited. I refreshed my makeup and walked bravely into that room. And there, my world stood still. They were all seated, but at the head of the table was the man I never thought I would meet again. I knew he was the one. He looked the same. After all these years, he stood up and walked towards me. Guys, even before he raised his hand to shake me, I knew it was Tonye Newton Duke. My heart pounded. I was spellbound. This was the man I prayed never to meet, but every night I wondered where he was. Even when I composed myself and greeted all like nothing was wrong, all was wrong. We had signed a contract and I could no longer work here. I could no longer be under the same roof with Tonye. 8 men and a lady introduced themselves to me, but I couldn't even focus. Oh my heart, what was I going to do? I couldn't even doubt if it was Tonye because just by the switch on the wall, a big frame of lady came over. I could no longer work here as Tonye was the CEO. I tried to be calm as I introduced myself and transformed my horrible experience as a multipurpose teacher to a very important project manager who enjoyed taking on important projects. Tonye was on the phone all the while and had excused himself, so I discussed with the board on my plans for the department. But for a brief moment, his gaze fell on me. I avoided his eyes because at this point, I knew I was on borrowed time. Because I changed my name from Bele to Rejoice when I wanted to write my high school exams, so he may not remember. I liked Rejoice because it was unique, and I liked the fact that it was a verb. However, my mom still called me Bele, and I called her Mama Bele. As soon as I got home, she was eager to hear all about work. I didn't tell her about Tonye. How could I? There was a contract preventing us from seeing each other, but the salary was so good. Maybe I could squeeze in a year experience and move elsewhere if I was lucky. We had to survive. My son Tombra was God's gift to me in a lonely place, and I lived for my mom and my son. They were my past and my future. I am glad Tonye was always busy, traveling, taking calls, so I settled in. Even though I was worried about Lady and the contract, Tonye was pleased with my work especially the new gel soaps I created, and he even written a mail to thank me for my hard work. So when I resumed work that morning, and Ada told me that she had cleared my schedule for the day because Tonya had requested for me to see him in Abuja. She even handed me a flight ticket. I knew this was the end. I'm sure he and his mother were together and they wanted to fire me, or even worse, get me arrested. I landed in Abuja with the 6 o'clock evening flight. A driver was waiting at the airport to take me to the office, and as soon as I introduced myself at the reception, the lady excitedly told me Mr. Duke had called twice to ask if I had arrived. Chai, my palms were sweating. So with the last confidence in me, I walked into his office. As usual, he was on the phone. His PA was giving him documents to sign. No sign of lady, just her picture was on his table. The woman who was a savior to me and also a saboteur. He caught me looking and said, "This is my late mother," he said sadly. "Ah, so lady is dead." I didn't even know if it was a relief or a disappointment. When the PA left, he turned to me and said, "I think I know you." Guys, if you hear my heartbeat, if you put your hand on my chest, Celestial Church cannot beat drums like this, so Immediately, I said to him, "I don't remember you. I lied. I had to." He wasn't convinced. And then he asked me, "Did you attend Imperial College in the UK?" I laughed in my mind. Imperial what? "No, I schooled in Lagos," I said. He came closer to me and stared into my eyes. Then he asked, "Where are you from?" I was silent. And then the heavens came true for me and his phone rang again. He excused himself. What do I say? How do I get out of this? Did he know the truth and wanted me to hang myself? After his call, he looked at me again the same way and asked, "Where were we?" I said, "You wanted to tell me why you sent for me, sir." "Okay, yes," he said. He was no longer intimate and intimidating. "Rejoice, I called you here to tell you how proud I am of you for the work you are doing. I fly out to Dubai tomorrow and I wanted us to go to the plant here in Abuja so I can hear some of your ideas." "Ah, is that all?" "No, sir." We drove together to the site and I gave him my recommendation. He seemed pleased and he dropped me at the airport, and I was back to Lagos before 10 p.m. Just before I alighted his car, he told me, "Rejoice, if you have problems with me or anyone in this company, please let me know. I am truly happy you are working here." I said, "Thank you, sir," and ran into the airport. Even though I had jumped this hurdle, my heart knew it wasn't over. There was a way he looked at me. There was a way he came close. I knew another fire was burning. I won't get burnt this time. I made a sign of the cross. "Come close, guys. Come close and sit down. Let me tell you this still worth telling from the beginning so we can make this decision together." It was the day President Yar'Adua died that my father finally kicked us out. His second wife finally had her way. The funny thing is, they all worked together at Newton Duke's plantation. My dad, my mom, and his second wife. The plantation was so big that almost all the village was employed there. The night we were thrown out, we had nowhere to go. Mama Bele, my mother, as we fondly called her, held my hand and went to the plantation. It was dark and wet that night, but she was able to make a makeshift shelter using the dried palm fronds and bamboo sticks and some old wrappers. It wasn't up to a week that the guards caught us. They took us to Lady Gladys Newton Dukes, the brain behind the plantation. We called her Lady. Her and her husband started the plantation years ago. She was a no-nonsense tough woman. She was upset and informed us that we were trespassing and Mama Bele was endangering our life. I only hoped they would not call the police. My mother went on her knees begging for mercy, and it broke me. I didn't want to go to jail. Mama Bele explained our predicament in tears. She explained how she has been married for 20 years, but I was her only child, and my father had quickly remarried. She named me Biobele because it meant happiness. I was her only happiness. Lady's face softened as she listened to my mother's story. She also had one son, and we had all heard rumors of her stillbirths. She told Mama Bele that we would follow her home. She had employed my mom as a cook, and that was the end of tedious plantation work for her. And Mama Bele could cook. I mean, my mom could make fisherman soup, banga soup, owo soup, any native soup. She's number one. And Lady will always praise her after a delicious meal. She gave us an apartment inside her compound. It was at the very end of the compound, and it had a shed facing it. The shed had a zinc roof with cushions on the ground, so comfortable. I love to read novels there because of the gentle breeze. So you can imagine my surprise when Tonye tapped me when I was fast asleep. I woke up scared. "Who are you?" I screamed. He only laughed. He had dimples, cute for days. He introduced himself. He was Lady Gladys' son, her only son. We knew him as Mr. T. He schooled abroad and was home for the holidays. He was very friendly and humble. He enjoyed dialogues, and we talked like old friends that day. He asked about my novels, and I shared the story. Then he started to bring books for me to read. So we read books about Martin Luther King, about Mahatma Gandhi. We read about Saddam Hussein, about Bin Laden. We read about the laws of power, who moved my cheese. He would bring these books, and I would devour them at night like I had an exam, and we would discuss together the next day. He was truly impressed by my intellect. Mama Bele warned me about our closeness. I told her not to worry. We weren't doing anything bad. It was holiday time and I was bored. Mr. T kept me engaged. It was nice to have someone to gist with in this village that understood you. I didn't know that what an adult sees sitting down, a child will not see it even if he climbs on top of a tree. It was when Tonye started bringing romance books that our problems started. We had read Gone with the Wind. We read A Woman of Substance, and before you knew it, I don't even know how it happened, we began to practice our love stories. We began to imagine the romance. He was Romeo and I will play Juliet. It was supposed to be harmless. Don't let me say too much because you already know that this was a disaster waiting to happen. Lady invited my mom and I for the Duke's Christmas party. Look, if they invite you to the Duke's Christmas party, count yourself lucky. The food was good, no doubt, and there were high-class guests. But the goodie bags, it was filled with wonderful stuff. Coolers, radio, fans, phones, tablets, and lots of foodstuff. Everyone was looking forward to attending. Tonye's mother had sent him to the bank that day. The musicians from our village sang one after the other. We were all eating and drinking when Lady called me and said, "Please, Bele, start to share the gift bags." I think I'd had too much to drink because as soon as I took the first step, I fainted. Everywhere was scattered. My mom was already screaming. But luckily, Dr. Adu, Lady's guest, and the doctor in our village hospital was in attendance and they rushed me to the hospital. But even before I opened my eyes, I heard her in my spirit. She called Lady to tell her, "Congratulations, Biobele is pregnant." Do you know how it feels when you are eating a delicious meal and next thing you start tasting bitter leaf in its raw form? That is what happened to me. First of all, Mr. T was shipped abroad. Lady was enraged to think that her precious son will impregnate a wretched pauper like me, a daughter of a nobody. Mama Bele was awake at night weeping. I was still in shock. This was not the way it was supposed to happen in the novels we read. Where was my happily ever after? Where was my Prince Charming? We had not even discussed this pregnancy. Now I'm left alone. Mama Bele was let go from work, and we knew that very soon we would be summoned to the mansion by Lady. As we feared, two men who happened to be lawyers summoned us to Lady's office. My pregnant self and my illiterate mother stood like condemned criminals in front of them. The younger lawyer began his speech and told us clearly, we have been evicted from the apartment. Also, even though we were Catholics, Lady has insisted on an abortion. I looked at Lady's face. It was expressionless. I felt the cold. And lastly, because we would be homeless and stranded, she was going to give us the sum of 10 million naira bank check to relocate to a new environment and start a new life if we agreed with her rules. We are not to contact Tonye or anyone in this family. We are not to see them or find them on the internet. He talked about consequences of trespassing, harassment, and stalking, and he said we'll be persecuted if we didn't adhere. As soon as we were done, Mama Bele put her thumbprint on the documents and thanked them for the forms and promised that they will never hear from us again. And just like that, we were banished. No one asked me how I felt or what I wanted. No one bothered about me. Tonye was protected and I was condemned. Mama Bele was my pillar. She didn't condemn me. Not one single word of "I told you so." She knew I had already learnt my lesson. Even when I woke her that night before we left to ask when we would do the abortion, she screamed, "Never." So that night, we were on our way to Kano to live with her brother, who lived with his 2 wives and 8 children. It was a long journey. We sat in the night bus. I felt tired. I felt dejected. I felt like the scum of the earth, and I was only 16. My uncle and his wives welcomed us. He was a farmer and had little means, but we were happy sleeping in the mat in their living room. We were comfortable with the love they showed us. We had gone to the bank, processed the check. Uncle Barry's second wife was a maternity nurse, and for this I was grateful because I had been in labor for a while and I didn't even know it. I endured the pain. That morning, while Mama Bele and the rest of the family went to the farm, I stayed home to rest. I needed to make lunch for them, so when I went to the well to fetch water, it was at that moment my water broke. I didn't know what to do. I was confused, but just in time, Nurse Tina came back from her night shift and found me wincing in pain. She told me to lie down, and I lay down, and that was when she screamed, "I can see the head." She began to run around to wear her gloves, but I couldn't even hold it anymore, and in one push, Nurse was holding my baby boy in her arms. She was more shocked than I was. She began to clean us up, and by the time Mama Bele and the rest of the family came home for lunch, food was not only ready, but Tombra was present to greet them. Should I tell you how Mama Bele kept shouting? She kept praying and she kept praising God and holding her chest. "God is good, God is good." She kept telling me how brave I was. She told me how proud she was to have me as a daughter. Honestly, I promised with every fiber in my being to protect her and my son as soon as I was able to. We moved back to Lagos when Tombra was 1. Mama Bele's plan was to start a restaurant, and I had gotten admission to the university. We heard Lagos was the hub of business and we wanted to tap into it. We rented a room at Iba while I went to school. Mama will hawk and cook while I went to school. Mama Bele will cook and hawk cooked food with Tombra on her back. Let me tell you that my mother's strength was what made me strong. She will not let me worry about Tombra. They were always together. Everyone, even Tombra, thought she was his mom. When I graduated, I didn't get a job immediately, but with the money given to us, we were able to open a small restaurant. Then I became a teacher and I was able to put Tombra in a private boarding school. So when the vacancy at GPP came up, it was as if the heavens had opened for me. Maybe because I grew up in the plantation as well, I hurried to apply and they loved me. Now I know the heavens played a trick on me because we took 10 million naira and chose not to see Tonye again. According to Ada, Tonye had lost his wife 5 years ago at childbirth and he had plunged himself into work since then. He bought GPP and since he had grown the business, he always appreciated my input. He was very formal with me and I tried my best not to remember who we were. Only for this day, we were at the factory together and I was walking faster. I didn't want him close to me, but guess what? I tripped and fell. It was so embarrassing, but he held me before my head clumsily hit the ground. Our eyes met again. No, this was not happening. Remember the contract. Lady will be turning in her grave. At last, I got an interview in another company, Messiah Manufacturers. The interview was virtual. I told Ada I had an impromptu meeting so I could close earlier to prepare. This was a multinational manufacturing opportunity and I didn't want to screw it up. Mama was at the restaurant. I set up my laptop in my room and started the interview. I could see they were impressed so far. So tell me why my phone began to vibrate middle of the interview. I would have ignored it. I don't know what made me try to take a glance. It was Tonye. Oh my goodness, that was it. I was no longer confident. I lost my train of thought. I forgot my answers. I was stammering and I couldn't even think anymore. They noticed my distraction and then the interview was cut short, and just like that, the opportunity to escape GPP just evaporated. Even then, Tonye wouldn't stop calling. I waited till I got into the car on my street and then I picked. "Hello, sir," I said. "Where are you?" he asked. I stammered. I closed early because I had to go for a meeting." "Where are you?" he asked again. "In my car," I said. That was true. "Just wait, I think I've spotted you," he said. I was speechless. How did he find me? What is all this? "I'm parked behind you," he said. "Come out." I came out of my car as he ordered. He told me to enter his car and his PA drove my car behind him. I didn't know what to say. I was silent as he drove. He looked upset. We drove to Sherry Lounge and he led us to the restaurant by the poolside. I wasn't hungry, but he still ordered for me. My heart was beating again. Then he said, "Have I or anyone ever offended you at work?" "No, sir," I said. "Then I'm very disappointed that my friend Mr. Musu of Messiah Manufacturers called me to tell me that one of my best hands is in an interview with them. Rejoice, tell me what is going on. What is it about you that gives me joy, and now you want to take that joy away? I thought I made myself clear in Abuja. Are you pushing me away? Talk to me. What is going on?" The pressure was a lot. His eyes were not helping. I could not help it anymore. I had to say the truth, even if it would kill me. "I am not who you think I am," I said all of a sudden. The pain of being thrown out of my home as a child, being evicted from Tonye's house, even my life in Kano, I started with little sob, and before you knew it, I was bawling my eyes out. I remembered Lady's face, expressionless, hard and cold. I remember my delivery in a bare living room. The tears became like waterfall. He looked worried. He held my hand and said, "Bele, what happened to you?" I nearly fainted. I found my voice. "Hey, what did you call me?" Then he said calmly, "Pio Bele. Do you think I will not remember you? I thought of you every single day. I asked after you from my mother, and she told me that you had left with your mom and she didn't know where you were. But I did not give up the search, and you remained in my memories. Do you know how happy I was the day I discovered you were coming to work for GPP? That was why there was a merger, because I didn't want to lose you a second time. I had investigated and I saw you had changed your name, but I convinced the board to accept you, even though your only experience was in teaching, and that didn't qualify you for this job. I needed to see you again, to ask why you left the plantation. Pele, what happened all these years? Still crying, I said, it was your mother that drove us out. She made us sign a contract saying we will never contact you or come close to you. And she gave us money. She gave us money and we collected it. You know we needed it for the baby. I was pregnant. My mother drove you out? But on her dying bed, she told me to do whatever I can to find your mother. She said she had offended you because when my wife Elena died, she kept saying it was her fault because she sent you away, but she did not mention that you were pregnant. Are you sure? Toye, please, don't tell me that. She evicted us. We had nowhere to go that night. More tears. I stood up to go. I didn't want to explain any longer, and he stood up and held my hand, and I wept on his shoulder. I didn't have an abortion like she wanted, I said in a whisper. Our child is alive and in high school. He just started secondary school. What? You mean it? He said. He was shocked. You kept the baby? So I'm a father? Yes, it is your mother that gave us the money we used to start a restaurant and to start a livelihood. Your son is just like you, calm, gentle, and he had dimples too. I reached for my phone to show him. It was his turn to shed a tear. Thank you. I'm grateful to you for that. I can't wait to see him. We sat down again. Then he said, I'm sorry for all you have been through. I look forward to meeting my son again. I was never aware a contract existed. Lady did not mention it, but now that she is dead, so is the contract. You signed that contract under duress, and therefore it is null and void. But Bele, please don't leave GPP. Now that I've found you, I will never let you go. Promise me that you are here to stay. I could only nod my head. Okay, he said happily. Let's go and greet Mama Bele. Then you can introduce me to my son. And just like that, guys, just like that, all those years of running, I was back into his arms again, and it was a dream. My son will meet his father. I knew I had a lot of explaining to do. I became hungry all of a sudden, and I ate my food like a hungry lioness. And when we were done, we stood up to face the future of certainty. So tell me why I won't rejoice. Thank you for listening to my tale worth telling. Share your comments in the comment section below. And if you like the story, please share and subscribe. Goodbye.